Well, last week we brought you part one of our series, Outsourced, Silicon Valley Students in India. We got a glimpse of India's growing tech industry and its connection to Silicon Valley through the eyes of 25 local high school students. But while in India, the kids also saw a different side of the growing superpower, a side that's prompted some of them to take action. They come from different worlds and speak different languages, but as it turns out, Lady Gaga's universal. Pop music is just one of the tools the students of Archbishop Midi High School use to put smiles on the faces of these Bangalore street children. However, Anand's smile disappears as he tells us his story. Abandoned by his grandfather and forced into child labor, he'll sleep on the street tonight, along with hundreds of others just like him.
In the States, it's like your once in a while after school special. Here, it's like 50 to 60 kids a day.
For some Midi students, that's a heartbreaking realization. But for others, it's a reality they're all too familiar with.
To be quite honest with you, it's not so much as of a shock for me. I mean, being born here and how many times I've been with my family on trains and buses, and I've seen kids like them.
India has more than 100 million child laborers, more than any country in the world. And many of them live on the streets of big cities like Bangalore. These are just some of the 100 kids who join the ranks of the street children in Bangalore every day. They come from outlying areas. Some of them were sold into slavery by their parents. Others are escaping abusive homes. And some just come here in hopes of finding a better life.
So many of them.
A life that looks a little more like this. It's here at this private school in Delhi that India's wealth gap becomes painfully clear.
This school is really a step forward from everything else that we've seen.
These students are part of the 20% in India who live above the poverty line. Among the similarities to their American counterparts, their iPod playlists.
I listen a lot to like Taylor Swift, Lifehouse.
Jay-Z, a little bit of Nas, Kanye, and lots of old school. I like old school a lot.
But when asked about India's overwhelming abject poverty, the cultural differences become clear.
You must have seen Slumdog Millionaire. It showed the slum areas of India. No movie has yet shown the technology that's advancing in India, so that's really, really important for us to really improve the image of India worldwide.
But when it comes to image, this is what the Midi students see. It's no Hollywood movie. Just outside the private school walls, child laborers dig holes. And while the privileged ride in private cars, this is how others are transported.
I think for them it's kind of something that they're used to. They're born and raised here, and it's kind of one of those things where when you're in the car and you're driving, you can just kind of see past it. But for me, I can't turn away.
In a country with 1.2 billion people, second only to China in population, many blame the widespread poverty on the sheer number of people.
It's the root cause of all the problems that have emerged in our country, because when you have such a wide population, it's difficult to reach out to each and every one of them and provide them with the basic amenities of life.
But when it comes to India's growing tech industry, overpopulation has become a marketing tool in and of itself, recruiting Western companies by promoting human beings as India's natural resource. And while outsourcing does provide jobs,
outsourcing can only take India so far. If 75% of India lives in the rural areas, outsourcing is not going to be the solution for those millions and millions of people.
So while many in India's IT sector are prospering, paying skilled workers on average $400 a month, much of the country is being left behind, including children like Anand, sent to big cities in hopes of finding a better life, only to find a new kind of poverty.
My question is not only will he make it to adulthood, but is there anything for him when he gets there?
There's no doubt that the students of Archbishop Midi High School had their hearts broken in India, but they also fell in love with the rich culture, the warm people, and the beauty of this rapidly developing country. And above all, they walked away with hope.
That's the next step. I mean, seeing is one thing, but acting is really where the difference is made.
And today, the MIDI students are acting and trying to make a difference. After the break, we'll chat with them live about life now that they've returned from this eye-opening journey.